Hey fam, I always tell the truth, and some truths are really, really hard to accept. But this truth, I tried to not let it slip off my tongue because I didn't want to even recognize this truth. But all my life, you know why I'm in the cemetery. All my life, I've had connections with energies. I've always hung in the cemeteries. I enjoyed going at night in the evenings with friends and just looking at the tombstone. But one thing we were never taught was who we were. We were never taught if we don't know who we were, then we don't know our capabilities. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing. We're doing what other beings on the planet are doing. We're going through the motions of life. They told me not to go through the motions of life. They said, you need to not ever, because of your condition, because of what you've been through on this earth, because of what they've been through on this earth, procreation is really not a thing for us as a people. There's no, I'm just going to be honest. We got to stop thinking about our numbers here, because our numbers here is too many of us here. It's too many here. And we don't know how to use our minds to get above all of this. So we go to these different ways that are nothing but traps. Nothing but traps. But I'm going to tell you, that's the truth. If I could, I would rip my ovaries out of my own body. I don't need no non thinking doctor to do that, brainless doctor to do that, that doesn't know what he's doing. I'll do the damage myself because you may think you can you may think that you can do everything right that you're supposed to be doing, but that's just going through emotion. That's not using true knowledge. These people are the Grateful Dead in this cemetery. Any cemetery, you're gonna find the Grateful Dead because they're gone somewhere else. They don't have to put up. They don't have to be trapped with nonsense all day, every day. They don't have to deal with dysfunction all day, every day. But I tell you what, we're supposed to be, we are definitely the dead ones. They are the living because they made it through. They've already done their deeds, they made it through. So we're here getting tricked every day. I was tricked. I was tricked into believing, into their believing that if I did everything the way the system, for the system to make the system work and make the system make everybody else comfortable, then what I could do is, I would be able to be set. I would be able to, if I get myself in a condition where, you know, everything seems like it's okay, because it's not. This world is not okay. But you have to make it that way. And now I'm learning. I didn't listen to the voices when they told me, nope, nope, you do not need to bring children in this world. Our people did not need any children in this world. We just didn't need to do that because it's more it's more it's more of a issue it's a big issue, because then we still have this imbalance. Our men are all over the place. Our men are all over, really all over the place. They do not know which way is up, which way is down. We women, we just try to go with the flow of the earth. And this world right now we're in is very materialistic. Very materialistic. Let me tell you about a situation, a video I saw. A white man, was talking about how he brought his wife a car. His wife, of course, is a black woman. This car that she's always talked about and always wanted. Mm-mm-mm. See, we're not in our right state. And I wish, if I was in my right state and I would have known ahead of time, I would have listened to those voices when they say, don't bring children into this place. When they said, don't bring children into this place. Because you don't have, your heaven's been taken. You don't have the things, the tools, and the support. You don't have anything you need. You don't have anything you need. You think that you can go and work, retire, get a little nest egg for yourself, and that would make the man feel appeased. No. You think that you can take the weight off of somebody? No, the weight will be all on you, plus more. So it's just nonsense. It's nonsense. This is what they call dumbed down. Being dumbed down, because it doesn't matter what level you're on. You can tell yourself, you see, there's wealthy black people whose children are crazy as hell. So money doesn't do anything for anybody. Right now you got children, that are confused with their sexuality. They don't have confidence. They don't love themselves. We got children even taking themselves out. Taking themselves out because somebody thinks they know what's right for them. But you brought them to a world that is not going to work for them. Now you have to figure out how to make it work. But a lot of people don't want to use their minds. They rather use other things. They rather put the weight on other people. And this has just got to stop. I would tell all the young people, sex and all this stuff is not even worth it. Hold yourself out, because you're not missing anything. You're not missing anything. The music is telling you to go procreate, go do this with this female, go do this with this male. The music is constantly telling you this because they want you to be trapped down here. They want you to be trapped, and when you think you got away, you end up not having a way. You think that, it's just crazy. I should have known better. Because I had to grow up with a man who knocked my mom upside the head all the time. I had to grow up like that. But I thought that that's what I need. I needed a father, because I never ever seen my biological father. So that was number one that showed me that why I should never have kids. And that's what I stuck to. I stuck to the point that I'd never ever seen my father before. And since I never ever met the man and never will, why would I bring children in this world? I waited till I was 31 to have children. 31 years old, put together. Job, career, everything. House. I owned my own house before I had children. I didn't have a college degree. I still was working on my college degree. But I had a college degree. I had a college degree from a university before I had my second child. And then I went back to school again to do what I wanted to do. This world is an illusion. Don't fall for it, the tricks. I fell for the tricks, and I feel like I want to. Yeah, you're so you don't do that. Don't bring children to this world. I don't care what it may seem like. Do not do it to yourself. Do not do it to yourself. The ancestors, they begged and pleaded with me. All I would say, all dead people begged and pleaded with me not to have bring children, because the struggles I had in my youth, the struggles I had in my youth, they begged and pleaded with me, but I fell for the trick. I fell for the matrix, to be weak, to just, you know, it's not right. It's just not all men. Men are not right in the head at all. I don't care. Men are just not right. Not right. I seen boys growing up who ended up being fathers. Not right. And I was like, that's what made me hold out, because I seen so many teenagers just doing some senseless stuff. Doing senseless stuff, not learning about the world around them, not learning about life. I still learned about the world around me and learned about life, but I didn't know all that I thought I knew. Now I know. Now I know. And like I said, right now, if I could rip out my ovaries, I would do it, because um, it's a disaster. It's dysfunction. And no one should make their children suffer. Make yourself suffer. Make the children who are you suffer over and over again in what they call this reality. You don't do it. Do not do it. I don't care. All of this is cosmetics. This life, this world we live is cosmetics. You need to work on you getting out of here, because it's a lot of people that been through some horrors, more horrors than what I've been through. I count myself fortunate. That's why I feel like I can help others. That's why I know I can help. I count myself fortunate. I count myself fortunate, because that anger and hate and hurt that man felt towards my mom at times, it ended up changing into love. It ended up changing into real love. At least, you know, maybe it's the matrix again, but as far as I'm concerned, it got me through my youth years. I was a little girl when he did those things to my mom, but as we got older, we started to, you have to understand other sick people. So we started understanding, you know, he was a hurt boy still, a hurt boy who was forced into manhood quick early at an early age, had to take care of his sisters and brothers. He lost his mom at 9. You know, it's all of these things. So it still doesn't take away our hurt, our fear of seeing violence in my house. It still doesn't take away from none of that. But I knew better. I should have known better. And because, you know, it's just awful. It's awful. It's an awful feeling when you should have known better and you should have listened, but it's too late now. I mean, you have to deal with it, because no one is going to really, you know, it's tough. It's really tough. We ain't gonna find no black man on this planet that is capable of anything right now, because he's sick. You're not gonna find too many black women that are capable of anything, because they're sick. And to think, you know, they're sick because we don't have the village that we need. We don't need, you don't need to be married to 2 women and, you know, you go free in the wild. You're going free in the wild already. You need to, face things and be strong and move your people out of the physical constraints we're in. That's what needs to happen. But I find myself trying to do that, but I get usurped. It's like they tell me, "Oh, we don't. I'm not going to leave. I don't want to. I want to stay here in this mess, and because I can get through it fine." Yeah, I imagine some people can get through it fine because they don't have the bulk of life upon them. They don't have to deal with the mental illness of their children because of the mental illness of you. You know, they don't have to deal with that. It's all falls upon it all falls upon you, you know. And the same with men. Men have to deal with mental illness too. The woman she loves Jesus Christ and she's fine with everything the way it is. She even loves a white pastor. And she puts all of that. Yeah, my father had to deal with that in church. And she puts everything before those the people before her own. And white Jesus on the wall is love to them. But not, and then you get blamed. You're the victim, but you get blamed for everything. You get blamed and you get told that you made choices in life. But when you look at it, it wasn't much of a choice. It wasn't much of a choice. It wasn't a choice. Because you're always trying to appease someone. I was always trying to appease someone else. Even though I tried to hold out and said no. And it's an emotional thing too. It's an emotional thing too. That's how we easily fall into traps. Because a lot of times we allow our emotions to get the best of us. But if we're hurting in life, why would we bring something else in this world to be hurting as well? And then you have to sit there and see them suffer every day. You can't even protect them, but you're waiting on someone else to do it. You're waiting on other people to do it. You see, I can see, like I said, if we had villages, that wouldn't be bad at all. And villages, it takes a village to heal people as well, to heal each other. It really does. I'm serious. I'm serious. Because no one can do it all by themselves. No one can do it by themselves. No one can do it by themselves. Oh. But it's peaceful being in the cemetery, even though I'm not all the way in the cemetery. Because I don't want police to come in, because I think it's a curfew for visiting the cemetery. It's always a curfew. But yeah, I just don't think we are in our right minds to do that. I don't think the men are brave to do that, to bring children to this world. We're sick. We're sick people. And, it's just crazy. It's really crazy. It takes a lot. It takes a people who love themselves so much that they care for their fellow man. It takes a selflessness, not a selfishness. Because anytime you say you want two women to raise the kids while you go off and be in your peace, that's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. That's very dangerous because that's what's happening now. Men are allowed to be free and do what they want. That's why we're in the situation we are now. Men, I have girlfriends. We get our kids together. We hang out, but they got their children who come from them, and I got my children that come from me. And we help each other out the best way we can. But it's nothing like that balance, that man and woman. And anytime a man doesn't listen to a woman, that's when you know right there, children should never be brought in the situation at all. Because you're not listening to your children if you're not listening to the woman. Because the woman is the one who's holding up the children. At least in my case. I don't know about anybody else's case. But either way, it doesn't make a difference. It's just dysfunction. It's all dysfunction. And, you know, if only I knew, if only I knew, if only I knew instead of believing. Well, I believe that if I do this and I do that, everything will work out fine. I believe that. But I didn't know that that wasn't reality. I didn't know that wasn't reality at all. But you know what? If I could talk, I'm glad. You know what I see from these young children nowadays is they're not like that. They're not into that too much. Maybe the ancestors are finally getting through to them. I know my daughter, she already said she doesn't want to bring me. She's suffering. She's struggling. And I don't know, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I try to I try to see what it is, and sometimes it's a good time, sometimes it's bad. It's just what she goes through. It's just the natural thing that we go through and growing up. But it's more. We have more. We have more. But she sees and she already says nope. But I hope she sticks to that. I hope she can stick to that because if you ain't willing to put your best foot forward and make balance and get back your heaven, and you just gonna let everything crash and bang, crash and break around you and be in a dysfunction situation, well, so be it. So be it. You get what you want because you have the power. You get what you want. I got what I wanted. At least I thought I wanted. And now I'm here. What do you call it? I'm here. No, this cemetery here, they actually got some lit up things in people's tombstones. But one thing, it's not close to midnight, so nothing is lurking in the dark right now. So, yeah, it's peaceful. It's peaceful. It's the only place where you can get heard. It's the only place you can get heard. It's powerful in the cemetery now. Don't get me wrong. It's very, very powerful in the cemetery. That's why I say our people got to get past spookism because you can do all kinds of things with these energies. Their energies are still around. They're still around. They're just in a different dimension. But no, that's why I'm just saying you should listen. You should be in tune, be in tune, because you have the gift to do that. You have the gift to communicate. You have that gift. Use those 3 DNA series that they try to suppress in you. That's what they try to suppress. They got you thinking about money, and money is not even worth it. You got to learn to let go of things. If you're holding on to a job and you're holding on to anything in this place, then that's our problem. We hold on to the fictitious instead of holding on to the real. So, and that is our detriment, because we can be controlled in that manner. That's how we get controlled in that manner, and we become our own destruction. We become our own destruction, because we decide to make heaven or hell in our minds. I'm fighting like hell. I'm fighting like hell for my heaven. I've been fighting like hell for my heaven for a long, long time, because I thought that I could, do the right things, get educated, get a career first, get a house so that my children can have a roof over their shoulders, over their heads, get myself situated, and it all ends up being a lie. It all ends up being a lie. It all ends up being a lie. Yeah. It's all a lie. And it's up to us. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about how our heaven was stolen. And what we do is we perpetuate the conditions that we're in instead of trying to hold on, see that vision of heaven in our minds. We continuously beat each other up. We use bad languages. Don't you know the bad thoughts that we keep are lower energy thoughts that will just bring you down and bring sickness to you? It doesn't lift you up when you're talking in a manner that is, just evil. You're saying evil things to people. You're arguing with people instead of being a better person. You're going to be stuck like majority of these passed away people. They're stuck in this dimension because they allowed people to take away their 3-strand DNA. They threw it out the window. They threw it out the bathtub with the baby. Bathtub water with the baby. And they took on an animalistic thinking, animalistic ways, evil, wicked ways, hateful ways, and didn't love. They didn't want to love. They didn't want to love. They didn't want to be truthful and say, I can't handle it. Let's not bring babies into this world. Instead, they thought they could do it, or they would sleep and did not know what was going on fully. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what was going on fully. And you see, there's a cop, and he's probably going to tell me I have to get out of the cemetery because they don't like you in the cemetery, like they don't like you in the parks. But he seems to be maybe understanding, because he just went on about his business. But I guess he's one that this is his route to secure for the cemetery and parks and the beaches. Of course, many times y'all see me at the beach and they trying to get us out, closing up, certain things you can't do It's like you're in prison. I never knew this, but because when I was a child, I used to sneak out the house 3 o'clock in the morning. We walked past some cemeteries. We actually walked through a cemetery, and that was the thing. You know, it. But we never had anyone to stop us from doing what we did. The things we did. So, you know, in our reality, we're under control. You cannot just come and visit anybody in the cemetery anytime you want. You may have a deep, deep, close loved one that you used to do things on late Friday night with, that you may want to be close to their tombstone, but you may not be allowed to. If they see you in there, they may say something to you. That's why, it's best to have your own cemetery right near your house, like they used to do in the old days. They had cemeteries right in their yards, and then anytime you was always close to. Everybody was close together. Everybody was close together. You didn't have to worry about going nowhere. But now it's gotten so distance. We gotten so. It's just the horrible conditions we're in now. They started doing funerals in the car, weddings in the car, doing COVID shutdown. It was just something else. I just didn't go to no funerals. And I didn't have to worry about weddings. But speaking of marriage and weddings, who's to tell you that you're married or not married? In all reality, you don't need paperwork to tell you what you are. That you're married, that you're happy. You don't need all that. You don't. That's just used to get more money out of you, to make you live in more hell. The more we hold on to the system, the more in hell you are. I say that again. The more we hold on to the system, and men are not able to be the man they're supposed to be because they're broken, because they just don't know, and because the world has conditioned them to be impatient and all these other things going on with them biologically. That's when, because a lot of men out here think the woman is supposed to raise the children by themselves. A lot of men think that the woman is supposed to be raising the children by themselves. Ain't no character. I ain't dealing with no character like that. I'm just not seeing it. It's ludicrous. It's just crazy. It really is crazy. See, this is also a route to the hospital, because there's a hospital back there. See, the cemetery's across the way. It's very lit up, as you can see. It's very lit up. And, spirits are good things, Energy, nothing but energy. Nothing but energy. Great energy, too. Great energy. That's all you get. You get nothing but peaceful energy. Don't let Hollywood spook you. Yeah. You talking about when people had the cemetery in their yards? That guy from Texas. You see, those are the kind of things we need to get back to. We need to get our children out of foster homes. We need to be together as a village, not man go off and do whatever he wants to do to be peaceful and pleasant in the mind, because he feels like he's the only one that has to deal with everything in life. But everybody has a lot to deal with in life. Nowadays, women I might as well admit that I was raised just with the guys. I got my ass beat like a guy. I didn't have, he didn't know how to raise a girl. He had 3 boys like himself. So when he beat me like he beat them. So that's what I had to go through in my life. And other people that I, knew, they didn't get hit like that. Girls didn't get hit like that. They didn't have to worry about things like that, you know. But this lady over here, I did. I had to deal with stuff like that. And I knew how to escape from that, you know. And that was through the love of my grandmother, to escape the dysfunction that I was brought into. And I knew how this world was. I knew I could feel it. I sensed it. I felt the fear. I lived in the fear. Like they say, those things stay in our DNA. They're in our DNA. I smelt the fear of the 60s, 50s. I felt the desperation of those men who were hung. You see, I feel things deeply. I can really sense things. I can feel things. And being out here, it helps because guess what? They're at peace. People say that people getting judged. No, that's just Europeans' mind thinking, the lower level thinking. No one gets judged because it was all a lie and an illusion. Why are you going to get judged? Why would a soul get judged? Why would a soul burn in a truck? Why would a soul get burnt? Why would a soul get burnt? Yes, that's what I am. Yeah, I'm sensitive, very sensitive to things. That's how I knew about my stepfather and what he went through. You know, I already knew those things. Hurt people hurt people. And the jealousy is serious. So, but, just, you have to listen. And I heard the voices. I've even experienced the pain, but I still somehow fell victim to the matrix, to lies, to the people normalizing everything. So I'm gonna read this book, The Intuitionist, on Sunday by a dear brother who wrote The Bluest Eyes. I think he wrote. Or they said that the book is similar to that, or I think he wrote that. Did he write that? The Bluest Eyes. The writer of The Intuitionist. I guess we'll find out Sunday. We'll even look at see if there's a movie, because that's old book. So it's about this woman who has a strong intuition. And I had a strong intuition But sometimes you can let your guard down. You thinking, well, I got this lick, and by golly, you didn't let the ball drop. You didn't let the ball drop. You wasn't in tune enough to yourself. You didn't listen. You heard it, but you did not heed it. You heard it, but you did not heed it. Yeah, I can tell. I can read people. I can tell about people. I take the time to. If I take the time to get out of myself and examine someone, I can tell things about them in their lives, in their livelihood. Let me see. Ooh, I'm not bringing it with me. Well, people, I gotta go because I didn't bring my charger with me and my phone's about to go dead. Let me know. So let me let you guys go. And thank you that guys from Texas for being a listening ear, and also Accra, Mpakosa. Thank you. I should say Big E. Thank you. War Against Programming. Thank you. Yeah, we've been programmed to think that in this system we can bring children into this world, but our children end up being the victims again. They end up taking our spot of being victims. So, and it's even worse because we're out of our state. I keep saying that. These are the things that my eyes, you can tell my eyes are open now. My eyes are open now. My eyes are open. All right, family. With that said, let me read this last comment. Yeah, great night, Jan J. Ree, and all others in the cloud. Have a great night. You know, we have to grab up our heaven. I don't know why we sink so low, you know, but we have to heal ourselves, and we have to get back our minds, our proper minds, which is not thinking at all anything to do with this with this what they call it, lower energies and lower energy thought thinking. You know, they got our music. They're making our people sing this music that breaks and it doesn't build. You know, we got people that are being a disgrace to us on a constant basis. We can't go on like this because it's called, there was this white lady that was just staring at me, and the truth is they stole our heaven. They stole our heaven, and now they're living in the bliss. But they're not. We think they're living in the bliss, but they're not living in the bliss. They're actually suffering. They can't have a heaven. There's no such thing. So basically, the system they have provided for us is the same system they have, and it's not working for nobody. It won't work for them. It won't work for us. Believe that. They may not look like they pay, but they do pay. They pay in the worst way. So with that said, always remember true love, real peace, the higher self within, the soul. And I'm only being truthful when I say we should not procreate at all, because we cannot. We need a time to get it right. We need a time. One of these generations going forward got to take the time out to physically get us out of this craziness. Then that's when you build your own village, your own way of life, and it takes over the whole earth, then will that be true power? Because we should be leading, not following. Peace, family.